TikTok compilation that might wake you up and change your reality. Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
The Vatican Doctrinal Office has issued new norms on the procedure to be followed when there are alleged supernatural events or apparitions in a diocese. The norms replace those of 1978 when Pope Paul VI was in office. The main change is that from now on, the Vatican Doctrinal Office will not declare whether these events are real. At most, it will be possible to issue the so-called nulla osta, that is, an affirmation that indicates that there are no doctrinal inconveniences or evidence of deceptions. The Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith has established more concrete norms on the authority that diocesan bishops and bishops' conferences have in these cases. Generally, the bishops will have set up a commission with at least one theologian, a canonist, and an expert who can study the phenomenon in question. A delegate of that commission and the bishop will issue a statement that will be examined by Rome. Once the verdict has been studied and issued, the bishop, in agreement with the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, will make the results public. Another purpose of this document is to accelerate the processes of examining supernatural events to provide an answer to the faithful as soon as possible. Modern media facilitates a rapid diffusion of information on these events, making it more urgent to issue a response. The Church's involvement in alleged supernatural events or apparitions has shifted. Rather than stating if a supernatural event is true, the Church will simply clarify whether or not there are frauds or doctrinal problems. And it will take note of the presence of the so-called pastoral fruits, such as conversions or instances where faith is deepened.
Okay, Vatican had us living in illusions. Everything God wanted you to know, He has shown you. Apparently, no room for anything else according to the Word. Focus on Jesus, folks. The Holy Spirit will give you discernment.
What? What you got to say now? What you got to say now? You ain't got to say when you put your girl on the snap. Baby, yo, babe. Weird. Come on, baby. It's hot outside. You wrapped up in that blanket. Let's go jog on the beach.
I believe everything Diddy has been accused of now. I also believe he was the one that got Kim, Biggie, and Pac gone. What do you think?
After CNN released the surveillance footage of Diddy physically attacking Cassie in 2016, some celebrities have spoken out in support of Cassie, including her husband, Alex. Alex had made this post. His post read, "A letter to women and children. Men who hit women are not men. Men who enable it and protect those people aren't men. As men, violence against women shouldn't be inevitable. Check your brothers, your friends, and your family. Our daughters, sisters, mothers, and wives should feel protected and loved. Hold the woman in your life with the utmost regard. Men who hurt women hate women. To all the survivors, find the men and women who help and love. To all the survivors, your stories are real, and people believe you. To all the survivors, you're not alone, and there are men and women who care only for your well-being and safety. I want to raise daughters in a world where they are safe and loved. And to the abusers, you're done. You're not safe anymore. You're not protected anymore. The men by your side are just as weak. You're so miserable with yourself that death would be considered a kindness." And his caption says, "Wrote this a while back, but words ring true not just today, but every day. I want my kids and every kid to live in a world that's safe for women and girls, protects them, and treats them as equals. To the women and children, you're not alone, and you are heard." I cannot imagine how Alex, Cassie's current loving husband, father to her children, felt while watching this footage. This disturbing, disgusting footage.
How has this been kept quiet for so many years? But so glad she made it out alive. Bless her.
CIA is trending alongside the death of the Iranian president, so here's what actually happened. Iran's president was in Azerbaijan to inaugurate a dam. When it was time to head back, there were reports of a big storm, but instead of delaying the flight or getting a jet to fly over it, they take 3 45-year-old helicopters that they bought from the US back when they were allies through the storm. And keep in mind, it can be extremely dangerous to fly a helicopter in 30 or 40 mile per hour winds, but reports say that the one that they flew through had winds up to double that. So why the hell they still decided to go is unknown. But on top of that, the 2 other helicopters that were part of that convoy didn't crash and they arrived safely. And that's where the speculation of the CIA and other calls for foul play stem from. But despite President Raisi admittedly having many enemies around the world, plenty of which will be happy he's dead, no officials are claiming foul play, not even Iran themselves. Their state media say it was just bad weather. And I mean, with Iran's relations with Israel at an all-time low, even the slightest sign of Israeli involvement, suspected or real, would likely escalate things like we've never seen before. But still, there is no official calls for foul play. The bodies have been collected, Raisi's funeral will be held tomorrow. Putin and Xi Jinping are mourning the loss of a true and good friend, but it's important to remember that he wasn't actually the most powerful person in the country. They still have their supreme leader, who ultimately is the actual authority in Iran. But of course, if we get any new information that changes any of this, I'll keep you guys updated.
Is it just me or sounds suspicious in this occurrence? Something fishy there, and it's not the sushi. Wow, nice couches. How has no one claimed squatters' right in this house? Some days are happy, some days are sad, but at least they got someone.
Shocking prenup I've ever seen, which was enforceable, had a provision that said that for every 10 pounds the wife gained in the marriage, she would lose $10,000 a month in alimony. He was very concerned that she was going to become less attractive and he was going to become more wealthy. So his solution to this was in the prenuptial agreement. He wanted a clause that said if they divorced, she was going to get like $70,000 a month for alimony. But for every 10 pounds she gained from the date of marriage, she would forfeit $10,000 a month worth of alimony. And it was designed to sort of create an incentive that she would remain thin. And that was enforceable, meaning they tried to challenge and set aside that provision. And the court said, this is a disgusting provision. I don't know why you married this person, but it's enforceable. It's a contract. The two of you signed it and you had a right to sign it and you agreed to these rules, and they may be ridiculous rules, but you agreed to them. and you have a right to do that. I think it's a kind of love. I think it's a form of love. Is it a form of love I'd be interested in? No, I think it's very shallow in some ways. There's something very honest about it. I mean, you can't argue with the fact that there's something very upfront about it. He was making very clear and putting in writing, here's the value you bring to this relationship. I consider your physical appearance vitally important to this relationship. And by the way, don't skip the other side of that equation. She was going to get $70,000 a month. That's a very impressive number. So I think she also understood there was a value to be attached to him as well. Is it something I would be interested in on either side of that equation? No. But do I have a right to say to someone that's not love? I don't think I have a right to say that to someone. I think that if this is an economy the two of you have agreed on, you know, as a lawyer, see, my job as a lawyer is not to look, like, I don't look at it that way. I look at the engineering of it. So like if I'm representing her in that transaction, all I could think is, okay, so we're going to want her baseline weight to be as high as possible. So I'm going to want her to have pennies in her pockets at the day we sign the prenup, because you'd have to establish a baseline, right? Because if you say gaining 10 pounds, you'd have to establish a baseline weight on the date of the marriage. So if I'm her, I want that to be as high as possible. So I'm going to be putting pennies in my pockets and eating as many cheeseburgers as I can before the weigh-in. Now we're getting divorced. I'm going to be like a wrestler. I'm going to be in the sauna. I'm going to be sweating as much as I can. I'm going to take diuretics. I'm going to eat nothing but like grilled vegetables for a week or two, you know? I'm going to take off every ounce of clothing I can because I want to minimize my weight. This is why lawyers don't get invited to parties, because that's how we analyze problems. Like I didn't hear that and go, what is the nature of their coupling? I looked at it and I went, oh, I could play with that. I could, whoever I'm representing in that transaction, I could figure out a way to, you know, kind of make
A prenup and she still gets $70,000 a month is insane. He has money. She better get a private chef, trainer, Ozempic, and gym. Okay, maybe not Ozempic. The soul doesn't age. My dad passed away last year, and I never had the opportunity to use this filter to him. Okay, who's cutting onions?
How do you know when demons are around? Let me give you a few more ways. They tempt you. They trick you. They trap you. They taunt you. They taint you. They torment you. They trigger things, and they, in the end, can torture you. They certainly touch you. Those are the T's this time, going down the alphabet, I guess, but let's take temptation. We know what that can involve. Everything from lust to anger to greed and so forth, they trick you. Oh, the trickster, that's what they call the devil. So many ways that he deceives and then drags you in, and that's when he traps you, ensnares you, gets you in a bind, situation that seems to have no exit. It always does, but seems to be hopeless. It never is. Can do many things taunting you. Discourage you, that's taunting you. Taunt you with your looks, taunt you with your intelligence, taunt you with friends, what they're thinking, what other people say, miscommunication. Many ways in which he harasses you in this way. And that leads to torment. He really can up that game into tormenting you, where it becomes an obsession. And obsessions can really drag towards bad things. And, you know, they trigger a lot of different emotions and a lot of different actions. And in the end, really what he's doing is he's torturing. If we let demons, the devil, and his minions into our lives to too much of an extent, if they infest too much in our surroundings, they torture. They drag us to really bad things, and can be not just emotional, mental, spiritual, but also physical. Cause everything from allergies to cancer. So what do? Don't own it. Don't own that thought that comes to tempt you, to taunt you, to torment you. Cast it out. Don't accept it as your own thought. Okay, that's number one. Number two, cast out spirits by their name. Spirit of temptation, spirit of trickery, spirit of entrapment, spirit of taunting, spirit of taint, spirit of torment, spirit of torture. Cast them out every time they come in. Cut it short and don't let those thoughts be your own. Know where they come from.
Facts. So much easier to deal with intrusive thoughts once I realized they were, despair demons. Rebuke them all, folks.
Did you know that on our Earth there is an island located on a lake, which is located on an island, which is located on a lake, which is located on an island, which is located in Canada? This rare phenomenon is called a recursive island, and this specific instance is considered the largest. Interestingly, this island does not even have a name, as well as this lake, as well as this island, as well as this lake, while this is Victoria Island. In fact, there are many such islands on our planet, but they are often hard to find. It is interesting that such recursion can also exist for countries. Here is one example. This village is located in the United Arab Emirates, but it is surrounded by another country, Oman. But around Oman is the United Arab Emirates again. This happened because the residents of this village simply wanted to be part of the UAE, while the surrounding residents wanted to be part of Oman. Another example is located in Europe, on the border between Belgium and the Netherlands, and it looks like this. But this situation deserves a separate video.
How about the Taal volcano in the Philippines and Oculus in East Timor, Indonesia?
I started to drink hot water after living in China. Let me start with first, when I was in New York living at home, my mom would put water, like just cold water in the fridge. So when I got over to China, I was so shocked when people were drinking hot water. I was like, are you gonna put anything in that water? It's like, nope, we're just gonna give it to you hot. So for a while, I declined the hot water. But then over time, I actually started to drink the hot water to the point where I only drink hot water now. It's funny because my coworkers will see me drinking hot water and they're like, Christina, why do you not have anything in that water? And it's because I've lived in China. I know what it's like to just drink hot water. So I've learned that hot water is really good for digestion.
Yep.
It's also, I think there's some traditional Chinese medicine in there because if you drink hot water, it's supposed to warm your body, and they think drinking cold water can disrupt your balance. Y'all can help me out in the comments, like, is that true? But I know it feels good to drink hot water, but it's expanded for me though, because what I learned in China is that it's not just hot water, but it's also drinking tea. And ever since China, I've been drinking tea 3 times a day. I drink jiang cha, so I drink ginger tea every day.
Ooh,
a lot of people in
good.
China, though, they drink
That's
green
good.
tea. There's also hong cha, which is black tea. And I got hip to the pu'er cha game, which I learned in Yunnan. This could honestly be its own video on like tea culture in China, but I've been to tea fields in Hangzhou. I went to some tea fields down in Yunnan, and I actually made my own tea. So I think just that little ritual of like making my own tea plus drinking the hot water, I just felt I couldn't go back to basic water. Anyway, so I'm converted. I do drink hot water. Do you guys drink hot water? Why? What do you put in your hot water? Like, let me know.
I drink a cup of hot water first thing every morning. It becomes the culture with Asian. Even on hot day, the old generation never drink cold water. Always ask for warm water.
Another mystery buried deep in the hills of eastern Washington keeps resurfacing. A bottomless pit said to be a pathway to the paranormal.
In the heart of eastern Washington lies a strange mystery, Mel's Hole, a seemingly bottomless pit wrapped in mystery. Discovered by local resident Mel Waters, this hole has led to a series of eerie discoveries and unexplainable events that defy rational understanding. Surveillance cameras lowered into its depths have captured unsettling images, leaving even seasoned scientists perplexed. Surrounded by whispers of paranormal activity and government secrecy, the truth behind this unfathomable void remains elusive. Join us as we delve into the mind-blowing story of Mel's Hole and uncover the secrets hidden within its dark depths. The endless well in the hills. In a remote corner of eastern Washington, a mysterious enigma continues to baffle and intrigue locals and visitors alike. Nestled among the rolling hills, a strange, seemingly endless pit has captured the imagination of many. Known as Mel's Hole, this curious phenomenon has been the subject of many tales and explorations. Denise Whitaker from KFOR embarked on a journey eastward to uncover the truth behind this enigmatic pit. When a camera was lowered into this abyss, the footage it returned astounded people across the globe. This unusual pit is located on what is known as the Malat property, situated to the west of a place called Ellensburg, specifically on the Manistash Ridge. It looks like a regular hole in the ground, similar to a well, but it's not for drawing water. Over the years, it became a makeshift dumping site where various items were discarded. From household trash to broken machinery and worn-out car tires, many things were thrown into this hole. Surprisingly, no matter how much was dumped, the hole seemed to never fill up, which made Mel, the property's owner, very curious about its depth and contents. Strange happenings began to unfold around this mysterious pit. Mel noticed that his dogs would steer clear of it, acting as if they were wary or frightened. He also detected odd, unexplainable signals on his radio when near the hole, and it seemed to have no bottom at all. Stories and theories about Mel's hole began to spread far and wide. In 2017, a brave team of researchers located the hole and decided to investigate further by lowering a camera into its depths. What they saw was beyond belief and so alarming that they were compelled to escape, realizing the potential danger they were in. Join us as we delve into the story of Mel's hole, uncovering the chilling mysteries and the bold efforts of those who sought to uncover its secrets. The pit, known as Mel's hole, is not just any ordinary hole. It is a large circular gap about 9 feet across, encircled by a wall made of stones. This wall extends down about 15 feet before giving way to complete darkness. The hole has been a community dumping site for years, not only by Mel Waters and his wife, but by neighbors as well, even before Mel moved to the area. What is peculiar is that there's no sound when things are tossed into the hole, no echoes or any sign that they've reached the bottom, which bewilders everyone. Driven by curiosity and a knack for problem solving, Mel Waters, an avid fisherman, decided to take matters into his own hands. He wanted to discover how deep this mysterious hole actually was.
I didn't know.
Okay, I keep hearing about the hole and how much they have found inside, but not seeing one proof of it. If you're familiar with this, please drop a comment.
Buff gave his ex an incurable STD and beat FKA Twig so bad that it completely rewired her nervous system. Well, you know now. And for all of y'all that don't give a damn when women are beat, but y'all care about animals, apparently he was shooting stray dogs for fun too.
What?
You know now. Y'all are more mad at me for talking about people that did know when I wasn't even talking about the people that did not know. I was talking about the people that know and still continue to support him and treat this as this is like a redemption tour of his. I'm so glad he's back. I just can't believe that he was gone for all those years. He was gone because he got exposed for abusing multiple women physically and sexually. So what are we really talking about here? Apparently there was a video of people calling him an honorary black man. There were daddy edits that y'all were making of this man that literally beat the crap out of a woman so bad it rewired her nervous system. And this is not the only woman that he did this to. Keep in mind, he admitted to all of this. Of course, the apology was like a Diddy apology where he centered himself and talked about his past trauma and how it led to him beating FKA Twigs. And then, oh, she saved my life. You ruined hers. Go to hell.
Fish stocks. A vast fleet of abandoned biomechanical submersibles has been discovered in a deep-sea trench off the coast of North Carolina, roughly 500 miles west of Bermuda. The giant machine creature hybrids appear to be independent autonomous organisms that simultaneously possess the ability to be controlled by a humanoid-sized pilot. The subnautical mechs are constructed using biological matter sourced from various sea creatures combined with an organic matter harvested from shipwrecks and other marine salvage. The origin of the fleet is unknown, but it appears as though the fish bots are outfitted with offensive and defensive weaponry indicating a militaristic purpose. MLP researchers are attempting to determine if the fleet was built by a foreign adversary or if some other technologically advanced organization is responsible. The fish bots currently remain in an idle and dormant formation. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
It would be cool if this was an AI. I love watching this. They're really interesting, to be honest.
So the king recently had his portrait done, and the artist sat with him 4 times. The artist is Jonathan Yao, and he created this amazing red, vibrant portrait, which he said was an evolution of the king's journey and represents his deepness into humanity. So I went ahead and took the picture and inverted it a few times and flipped it just to see what I can find. And I wanted to show you real quickly what I found and get your thoughts on it. So this is the first inversion. This is just with the butterfly out. If you see up here, he's got the butterfly. So this one's just inverted. To flip him, I don't know if you see anything. This can be eyes, this can be a nose, this can be a mouth, this can be whatever. I'm not sure, you know? Then I swapped it and I did it with the butterflies on the inside. And now it kind of looks like a lion, right? Like the nose and the little whiskers. Oh, cowardly lion. Or whatever, like ink blots in therapy or whatnot. But then I flipped them upside down. And I want to show you what I found. The first one was the one with the butterflies on the inside. And it looks a little freaky. These look like, you know, I mean, you can take it however you want it with your imagination. But that's one side. But then the very next one just really stood out, man. This one really popped when you see, and again, you would have to use your imagination, but get right with God. Yahushua is coming back. If you know him as Jesus Christ, it's the only begotten Son of God. The rapture is coming close, whatever you want to say. Get right with God. Get your house in order. Be careful.
You know, I'm not joking. If you squint your eyes, you can see it clearer. You know, the true king is coming, folks. We are indeed in the last generation. And you're my brother and sister.
There's a lot of posts going around about why everybody's getting sober, and I'm going to explain to you why this is happening. It's because we're getting smarter as people. Like, I know it doesn't feel like it a lot of the time, but we are. And we're coming to the realization that it's a very strange thing that we've normalized in our society, that we can consume a poison to the point of vomiting or blacking out, and then just wake up and go, LOL. That was sick, bro. It's like, no, it's not. It's a poison. That's hard stop. That's what it is. It's burning every organ it touches on the way down. It's causing a litany of mental and physical health issues. It causes addiction. It destroys families. It's terrible. And if any other substance did those things, we probably would be like, hey, you probably shouldn't consume these. Like if that's what apples did, if apples made you black out and punch somebody in the face for no reason, we wouldn't be like, hey, you should go pick up some apples for your kids this week. It's a crazy thing that we've normalized. And again, I'm not like totally anti-alcohol. Like I have a couple of drinks with my friends every couple of weeks and I loosen up and I feel good and that's that. But when you really lay out the pros and the cons of drinking and not drinking, the cons are endless. And the pros are like, oh, you can be kind of socially cool for a few hours. The cons are it hurts your organs. It hurts your brain. It causes you to do very foolish stuff that can hurt your relationships.
It hurts your wallet.
You can get horribly addicted to it and cause issues that don't even exist and hurt all of your loved ones. Versus the pro of like, but we're loosened up. And especially as you get older, it becomes a lot less cool. Like when you're young, yeah, it's kind of cool to be an idiot and it's fun. And I went out and I ate Domino's at 3 a.m. and I got in a fight for no reason and I broke up with my girlfriend. Like, that's funny. But as you get older, you know what's cool? Having your life together. That's cool. Waking up on a Sunday, not feeling like death, feeling like, oh, I feel good about myself. And I mean, I still hate myself, but like for unrelated reasons, you know, and I can do things today and I can get things done today and I can actually do things that I want to do and that I enjoy doing on this beautiful Sunday. Like that's a wonderful feeling. And as soon as that became my every Sunday, is when I was like, hey, maybe the poison isn't adding anything of value to your life. And I think that a lot of people, that's become the same way for.
You never hear of anyone regret getting sober. Can say for the other way around. Plus, you're saving a lot of money.
Over a half an hour and it's past 9 o'clock at night. I cannot help you. Okay, I'm just trying to explain to you. I cannot fix this for you. I can't help you. It's just, I can't do it in that amount of time.
You realize that I am the one with the money, right? And you're not. I am the one that's hiring you.
Ma'am, that was incredibly rude. I don't know who you think. I'm trying very hard to remain professional. I can't understand where you think you're coming from with that. I have other clients that book 2 or 3 months out for me, and there are only a few in there that I'm actually designing myself. I don't even know how you got my number. But this is
a cake for 120 for tomorrow. I need to have this done. It needs to be taken care of.
It's not going to happen with me, but there are other bakers around the city that can help you. Maybe I'm not sure.
I mean, Walmart could pull this off, but they're not.
Did you? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did you say?
I did.
Okay. You know what? The only is you, because you've sat here and basically made fun of the fact that everybody else on the planet doesn't have any money but you. I don't know who you think you are, but I'm the wrong. And it's past 9 o'clock at night. I've got to do. Do you understand me? And it's not to make a cake for you. It's not to make a cake for you. Do you understand to lose this number?
I can't believe you would talk to me this way.
Oh, go yourself. That was crazy. She's crazy.
I don't even know what to say.
I don't even know if we post that.
Absolutely.
When she said, I don't know who you think, and then pull it back, I was like, oh, she's about to go off. I'm here for it.
Shutting your phone off doesn't even work, right?
How do you know your phone's actually turned off? It's not actually off, it's just pretending to be off. Your phones are all sealed, right? You can't take the batteries out. So I am as careful as I can, and I use things like Faraday cages.
Everyone's walking around with one of these. We all have them. Simplest thing to do, drop your phone inside a silent Faraday bag, and you could instantly go off the grid. Block cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, RFID, and NFC. It's a pretty next level tool that anyone can adopt. SLNT.
All manufacturers were mandated after 2001 to have tracking on all devices, but I think 2005 to 2006 it was under Bush Jr. And if you think about it, it has led to thousands of crimes being solved, and also a lot of witnesses being silenced. But let me hear your take about this.
People have described the island of Utøya as a piece of heaven on earth, or at least before July 22nd. Kids, typically around the ages of 14 and 20 years old, they're gonna gather for this multiple night stay on this heart-shaped island. All hell will break loose on the island. The kids just start running. Some of them have no idea why they're running, where they're running to, and some of them don't even know what they're running from. They just see people screaming and running, so they're running. Wait, what are we running from right now? The confused kids keep running and asking questions. What the hell is going on right now? Why are you running? Nobody would respond, but eventually they would all run past a body, bloodied, dead, on the ground. And now they knew what they're running from. Hello, this is the emergency operator. How can I help you? Please help us. We're on Utøya Island. There is a man walking around in a police uniform shooting at us. The line goes dead. The operator stares at his phone. What is wrong with kids these days? I mean, the youth, they really have no such thing as discipline. What a sick joke to make right after the Oslo bombing. He's about to turn to his coworker to rant about this kid doing a prank phone call when ring, 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 ring. Every single phone is lighting up and the calls are getting backed up. Every single phone call from Utøya Island. This was not a sick prank. This was far from that.
They say it took over 100 phone calls before the police believed. Hotlines should always treat every call as serious calls.
Oh shoot, dude! Bro! Dude, there's a dead manatee! I see a dead manatee! Yeah, it's floating against the boat.
What?
Yeah, I think it's dead. It's just floating. I don't even know if I can get close to this boat. Those things are protected in Florida. I don't even know if I can get close to it. Oh my gosh, I think it's huge. Oh man, he's dead. He's tied to the boat. That is messed up. We're definitely gonna have to call for that. I'm not even gonna get close because I know how protected those things are in Florida. It either got tangled up in that line or someone killed it and tied it to the boat. It's dead. That thing's dead, bro. We're definitely gonna have to call.
He wasn't tangled then?
No, I don't think he's tangled, but he's tied up in the rope.
So somebody obviously did that then?
I really think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but we are gonna call.
Can I help you?
Hey, we just found a dead manatee by, what's the part called? Let's see. It's like wrapped up, tied to a boat.
That poor manatee. Why would you hurt a manatee?
I found out today that this is how they get down in Indian water parks. I'm claustrophobic through the phone. I didn't even know I was claustrophobic until I see this fucking video. It's like, what's happening, what's going on, and what's the plan? Like, what are these people in this vicinity doing? How did they get out? How did they get there? Are they having fun? Are they begging for help? But it doesn't look like anything's going on. It's too crazy. I just can't wrap my head around, oh, I know. what we gonna do today. Let's go to the water park with 400 people and not be able to move. No drinks, no food. And it's like, this the lifeguard? If somebody drowning, how would you even know? They probably just disappear. They end up dead at the end of the party. Like, look at the lazy river. They should not even flowing for real. Is this like a miniature wave pool, but just like a party at the wave pool, but there's no drinks. No, it looked like people just chilling outside. I'm trying to understand what's going on. What's the goal? And where is the fun at? None of this looks fun to me. This all looks dangerous and uncomfortable in a situation I would never put myself in on purpose. But look like all these people bought tickets. All these people got in the water. Nobody going on the water slide. So going on. Now, this is the Blue World Water Park. Not one woman in sight. I want you to take a look. Zero. I mean, obviously, if you're a woman, I probably wouldn't feel safe in this area regardless. But what's going on? How you get an invite to this? And why?
What do you think it smells like in there? The forbidden Fruit Loops. That is in fact Jeepers Creepers 2024.
In 46 years of me being on this planet, I haven't seen any of these three. A baby pigeon, a Chinese food commercial, or my neighbours taking the shopping in. How many have you seen?
I've seen baby pigeon. I never seen a McDonald's being built. They have always just appeared.
FDA has allowed for foods that are GMO to be labeled organic. It tells you that it is a GMO product, genetically modified organism.
And why do we want to stay away from GMO foods?
Because it's synthetic. The body can't recognize it. So it wreaks havoc in the body. Think about it. They're grapes. Grapes grow with seeds. Mm-hmm. But now you can buy organic grapes that don't have seed. There is no food that is seedless naturally.
What are preservatives and why aren't they good?
Well, many of them stay in our bodies 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and they form as free radicals. You know, the body can't digest them. They don't know what it is. And free radicals eventually come together and clog arteries or turn into disease. I don't tell people that, oh, you're going to die if you eat that. I don't say that to you. I encourage you to do your own research, okay? Because there are a lot of foods that are GMO that are not labeled GMO. Mm-hmm. So you don't even know.
Right.
Okay? Because the FDA so conveniently made it so that these manufacturers don't have to label it anymore. They used to have to, but they don't now.
So taking care of you is your responsibility. I read those books and started practicing, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. And that's when I began to understand the importance of knowledge. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food.
She's on point. No seeds, no good. I cannot understand how people eat seedless fruit. Blows my mind.
What's this pattern with God? I want you to take a look at what this says. Days after threatening U.S. and Israel government, Iran's president dies in helicopter crash. After coming at Israel, Mohammed has died due to heart conditions. This was in 2021. Iran's foreign minister made this threat by saying the coming days will be difficult days for the Zionist entity, speaking of the nation of Israel. And then he dies. You have the Turkish lawmaker who gave a speech criticizing Israel, and he died shortly after collapsing in the midst of him making that speech. When you read scripture, you'll understand that God is a pattern God. You can oftentimes decipher God's footprints on something by pattern whenever it aligns with scripture. Let's take a look at scripture. Numbers 24:9. Like a lion, Israel crouches and lies down. Like a lioness who dares to arouse her. Blessed is everyone who blesses you, O Israel, and cursed is everyone who curses you. Psalm 121:4, he who watches over Israel never slumbers or sleeps. God still strike people down in the New Testament? Let's look. In Acts chapter 12, King Herod, who did not give glory to God, an angel of the Lord struck him, and he was eaten by worms and died. This married couple decided to lie to the Holy Spirit. Both of them dropped dead on the spot. Jesus said he'll strike people with death and suffering here in Revelation 2. Hit follow to see more videos on prophecy. Deadline's in almost a week. Click the link in my story or bio if you want to be added to the email list when I send out this 3-day course on how to defend the faith against Islam and more.
Some won't believe this, but if you have a relationship with God, you'll understand this. Every knee will bow and every mouth will confess that Christ Jesus is King of Kings.
I urge Congress and President Biden to make this bill the law of the land.
Let's talk about Paris Hilton. That was Paris holding a press conference at Capitol Hill. If you get a chance, go and watch the entire thing. Just go watch it. I don't see too many other celebrities doing that. For those of you who don't know, Paris Hilton has made it her mission to help survivors of the troubled teen industry. Here are a few other amazing things she's doing. She publicly supports Harry's Law, helps the Department of Justice open up an investigation, helps pass 2 reform bills in Oregon, receives a $500,000 grant from the Hilton Foundation, joins hundreds of survivors for a silent march. She's the type of celebrity I can really get behind. Way more celebrities should be using their platform like she is. And there's a reason she didn't go to the Met Gala this year. And I mean, I don't know why, but one can only speculate, so I don't know the reason. So Paris Hilton, you will not be on my 2024 block list. You are a boss-ass bitch, and I have so much respect for you.
It's so funny that 2006 to 2009 Paris would have been canceled instantly. It's awesome to see so much growth in someone.
Hi, my name is Dr. Rachel Stewart. I'm a critical criminologist, and I am not someone who's given to panic, but I am extremely concerned about the news that's starting to filter through about the crash of the president of Iran's helicopter. Now, this could mean serious social upheaval for everyone, and I just wanted to give you some warnings. It's very likely that over the next few weeks, the mainstream media will really play on this, situating Iran as being a threat and our need to militarize ourselves. But don't forget that the UK has just spent a massive amount of money on warships. This may not be as accidental as it looks. So be prepared for this onslaught of propaganda. And do not buy into it, people. Do not buy into the propaganda. Yeah? Do not buy into the propaganda. We do not need to go into a war. We do not need to be armed. Vote out the people that tell you that that's what we need to be doing. Yeah? And just inform yourself. Go to reputable news outlets. Listen to people who you trust. My name is Dr. Rachel Stewart. I'm a critical criminologist, and let's watch this unfold. If anyone's got any links, can you put them below? If, whatever anyone's hearing, let's share that information so we can make informed choices for ourselves. Thank you.
What's a reputable news outlet? Seriously. If you know, drop a comment.
Number one most overlooked sign someone's suicidal. The number one sign that somebody is suicidal that is overlooked, and I can say this from experience, my wife killed herself in 2015. My dad killed himself in 2017. In 2018, I attempted suicide. This is the most overlooked sign that somebody is suicidal, and that is that they go from depressed, talking about depression, talking about sadness. It's very draining, actually, if you've been around it. I know, I've been there. We are constantly just vocalizing our depression, our sadness, our dark place, just struggling, but all of a sudden we become happy and content. We become happy all of a sudden. You literally think that somebody has shaken depression without any therapy, without any meds, that they magically woke up one day and they shook it. They are happy now, and they are at peace with everything. They seem calm. They are not talking about their depression anymore. They are just happy, and they're in a good place, it seems like. And that is the scariest sign that somebody has now truly committed in their head that they're taking their life. And they are happy. They're happy because they think they have found a way out. They think they have found a way for this pain to stop. They think they have found a way that they're no longer going to be a burden to anyone. They're not going to be a problem to anyone. That they think that this is the solution, that everyone's life is going to be better off without them. And I know because I've been there before. And I will tell you this, for the ones that are out there struggling, I share every single day about my wife's suicide, my dad's suicide, my depression, my anxiety, my PTSD, my ADHD, my addictions. I share that every single day to let you know that you're not alone. Because what you're going through is real. It's very valid. But you have to tell everybody, you have to vocalize to everybody and start fighting and finding help. Believe me, it's not easy. But if you tell everybody in your life that you're struggling, that you need help, there's going to be some people that will sit with you in the dark until the light comes. And they will go through the process of finding the right therapist, of finding the right help, the right medication, whatever it may be. Because the strongest thing I ever did is continue to live when I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself in 2018. I wanted nothing more than that. But I will say this. I'm grateful every single day now that I never did. Because I have a life that I could have only dreamed of. I didn't think or dream or imagine it could be this good. And it can be. You are worth this. So don't get...
Thank God he's still with us. You ever come to a point where you simply stop talking as you feel it's pointless?
They are obsessed with you, bro. They never seen anybody like you before.
Yup.
Say the shit is just different. These folks are amazed by you, bro. They're admired by you. They just don't want to admit it. You know what I'm saying? These folks are like, wow, man, this guy one of a kind. Like, I never seen this type of woman, never seen this type of person before, this nigga before. You feel what I'm saying? And they're not gonna know how to handle you, bro.
Yeah.
Because they're used to low level. They're not used to, you know what I'm saying? They're used to this. That's why people be fumbling you, people be acting weird, because they just can't handle you, bro. You too much. Your energy, your vibe, everything, your presence is just too much. And people demons start to come out. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when they get around you, it's like they gotta get on their shit. They gotta like, it's like no plan. You got that no plan energy. It's no plan. Like, it's straight up like, what we gonna do? What's the grind? Like, what we gotta do? And these people slacking. These people these people not taking they self seriously how you take yourself seriously. You feel? When you take yourself seriously, it's gonna be very lonely. But the people that don't take themselves seriously, they just out here doing anything. You notice how they not lonely at all? They always got people to call. They always got everybody to hang around. So just understand, bro, like, you don't got to triple stress over anything, because the Most High got you at the end of the day anyway. Everything happens for a reason. You alone for a reason. Don't take this as a punishment, or take it as a, like, why? Like, how come everybody else, man? F them people, bro. Them people not for you. Anyway, if they was for you, they'll be in your circle right now. But notice how they not. You gonna get your people eventually. All you gotta do is keep working on yourself. Keep on finding new shit about yourself, new things that you gotta work on. That's all you gotta just keep on flowing, keep praying. You know what I'm saying? And they still thinking about you. They still want you to hit them back up. Come on, we know this already, y'all. We know this. So don't trip. They lost to Diamond. They lost to somebody that's one of a kind. Lost somebody that's was gonna show them the ropes. You feel me? It was gonna show them the ropes, but they want the ropes. They rather cut the rope and just fall down and stay there. They don't want to get back up. Nah. So you good. Keep on grinding, keep flowing, keep doing you. All right. So I love y'all, man. Sub to my YouTube and I'm gone.
Facts. It's some people that come in your life and try to humble you because they're intimidated by you.
Tonight, the first person implanted with Elon Musk's experimental brain chip Neuralink sharing his remarkable story. 30-year-old Nolan Darbaugh is paralyzed from the shoulders down.
You just played some music?
Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Now he can play music or chess, use a smartphone, all with just his thoughts. When he was 22, Nolan says he jumped into a man-made lake and sustained a spinal cord injury. His mom is his full-time caregiver.
I didn't have anything to wake up for in the morning, and this has changed that for me.
What can you do now with the chip implanted that you could not do prior?
I can control a computer just like anyone else can.
The chip connects to his brain with threads thinner than a human hair. In recent weeks, some of those threads retracted, affecting his abilities.
We rolled up our sleeves and found various different ways to, for Nolan, be able to recover his performance, which we have successfully been able to do.
Nolan telling me he hopes his story can help inspire others with spinal cord injuries, and that one day paralysis can be reversed.
It's going to be amazing when someone can have a spinal cord injury, go into a hospital, get surgery, and walk out a couple days later. I think it's going to happen. I don't think it's as far away as people might think.
Now, Lindsay, while the Neuralink device won't impact any of Nolan's physical ability, he tells me it has improved his quality of life greatly. And Neuralink tells me that they plan to implant their next 2 participants in their trial in the coming months.
After some time, if you want to continue, you should watch 30 minutes of advertising, otherwise you cannot walk. We are entering into the beast system. If you know, you know.
If you think America is the heart of modern civilization, this story will surely change your mind. There, a trade in unwanted children exists, and the way they do it is distressing. It's known as rehoming, and when parents decide they no longer want their adopted child, they simply advertise them on websites to lure prospective new parents. It's as straightforward as getting rid of an old fridge on eBay. There's no vetting or court orders required, and these disposable children can be handed over to anyone. In fact, until you see it, it's difficult to believe, and we should warn you, it's quite confronting.
First up, we have Alicia.
What?
Alicia is a very special and very sweet young lady who is looking for her forever family. She describes herself.
It's a parade like no other. Abandoned children desperately selling themselves to win over a new family, a new start.
She also likes drawing and doing arts and crafts.
And in the audience, sizing them up to find a perfect match, are their potential parents.
Okay, Michaela, you look so cute. That is my girl.
Travelling to this so-called matching event today is Tom, a teacher with no children, who is interested in 14-year-old Frank, given up by his adopted family 2 years ago and now living in a care home.
Today is important because I get a chance to kind of be a part of something, you know, part of a family that I've been waiting to be a part of for a very long time now.
If something happens, then we'll pursue it, and if not, not a big deal. Nothing gained, nothing lost.
But Frank is anxious to make something happen. He has much to lose and only 2 hours to convince Tom he's worthy of adoption.
I'm trying to show him the brightest aspects of me and to let him know what the darkest ones are.
Frank has sold himself well. Tom agrees to give his new son a trial run and will collect him in 15 days' time.
Thank you, do the same.
But 6 months later,
Anxiety is real, and the biggest buyers and sellers are based in UK and USA. You know, the rich.
Is a superpower. I would take somebody with anxiety any day over somebody without anxiety, because anxiety keeps you alive. Anxiety keeps you sharp. Anxiety keeps you learning. It keeps you attentive. It's a good thing. You are also trained. You are trained to understand how fear works. To oversimplify it, your brain has 2 hemispheres, a left brain and a right brain. Your left brain is your logical brain, your right brain is your emotional brain. Because you have 2 different hemispheres and they operate on 2 different bases, one is based in logic, one is based in emotions, they actually operate and they process at different speeds. Your logical brain processes much slower than your emotional brain, which is why it takes you an instant before you're scared, but it takes you minutes, hours, weeks before you're convinced. So what ends up happening is fear in an untrained person is an emotion that's processed by the emotional brain very quickly.
Yes, there are perks, but there are plethora of negative aspects that outweigh them, and I would never choose to live this way.
Like that, everything changes. Have you seen the podcast with Terrence Howard? The man just dropped a whole new periodic table that changes everything. Life is frequency, energy, and the man just dropped a periodic table that connects everything through tones and octaves and energy. Could you imagine learning this periodic table in school compared to the one that we learned? Everything would be completely different. Soon we'll be defying gravity because we will be able to reverse the vibrational frequency of Earth, levitation, okay? Everything from science fiction has now become science fact, and this is just the beginning. The seed got planted, and this seed is going to be watered by everybody who gives a shit about life. When I say gives a shit, means whoever's been planted in soil and who's ready for something good has now just been given a key to a reality that is, it is heaven on earth, literally. And it just got dropped and it was put out there, and I'm so excited because the whole periodic table, I'm like, I loved science, but I always felt something was missing. There was a disconnect within science. This connects everything. This brings it all out for you to see, and this man puts it in such a way that everybody can understand. There will not be one person that will not understand the nature of this reality soon, and people just opened up a whole new door to a whole level of living that we've only talked about, and it was just dropped. It was just put out there, like over the last couple days. People are now starting to get it. Do you know what inventions are going to come from this? Do you know what discoveries are going to come from this? And I don't want to hear that they're going to stop you, because they can't stop you. They don't have that power anymore, okay? We done risen up and took that power back. We the people now have a voice. So now going forward, everything that you have seen from science fiction movies that are cool as can be, we are now going to be able to bring that into our reality. How freaking cool.
Chill.
We just got to keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Because, like, this just changed everything. Oh, it's like so exciting. And I don't want to hear one iota from anything, from anybody. Do you know what this man did? This guy's lying. This guy is not lying. This guy's blatantly putting out the entire truth of this reality. If you want to deny that because of something he may have done before, that's all your choice. But the man just dropped the bomb of knowledge beyond the bomb of knowledge. And if you want to deny that knowledge, baby, that's on you. I'm going to live up to that because, like, bro, science just changed like that. Off to the next episode. I'm excited. Excited. Am I the only one here excited? I can't be the only one that's excited. I know I'm not. You can draw me some love if you are too. Can't touch this. That's what we're saying to the darkness that says that we would never be anything good, because baby, we just brought heaven to earth. In the most elegant way, mind you. Going viral on TikTok.
He didn't drop anything. This is all pre-Tartarian knowledge. Someone is allowing him to come forward with this before we figure it out ourselves. Control opposition.
This is not fake, as over 2,500 pound, 11 feet tall cannibalistic creatures are starting to attack from the water, and there's nowhere we can run. People were terrified after one TikToker posted a haunting video of what appears to be an alien-like sea lion creature lurking in the water by a lake, making eye contact with them. And if you see this, you are not safe. With many people absolutely terrified, saying those eyes definitely do not belong to a sea lion, and they're being found everywhere now. These creatures are not only reported to be able to grow to the size of a car, but also match the speed. With teeth super sharp and strong, they can rip apart creatures like a seal in seconds. They are also considered opportunistic carnivores, as they have eaten even their own babies, and in some cases dragged humans off of a dock and eaten them. Haunting footage shows several of these creatures overtaking boats and going after fishermen. Known as stellar sea lions, these are one of the biggest sea lions in the ocean, and they are super strong. Fortunately, they don't typically go after people, but definitely can.
Whoa, those sea lions are no joke. Definitely stay away from them in the ocean.
Breaking news out of the ongoing P. Diddy investigation. P. Diddy's alleged mule, Brendan Paul, has agreed to a plea deal with Miami-Dade investigators. Now, this is according to Rolling Stone magazine, but it has been confirmed by a representative of Miami-Dade prosecution's office. Now, in this plea deal, Brendan Paul will completely avoid jail time. He will have to undergo a diversion program, but upon the completion, the record will be completely wiped away. He is going to walk away scot-free. You have to assume if he is getting that much of a deal, there is something else beyond the program itself. He must be cooperating in some way. Now, what he can provide remains to be seen. Not coincidentally, after it's revealed that he has agreed to work with prosecutors, a video has surfaced of P. Diddy allegedly in a hotel with his girlfriend. If you want to see that hotel, you're going to have to find it yourself, or that video, I'm not going to be showing it here. But this is a huge developing story in a very developing case in its early stages. Stay tuned.
He probably was already cooperating, but Diddy deserved everything coming for him.
Teach yourself not to announce good news until everything is sealed. Premature announcements attract jealous spirits.
I agree, Auntie.
You know, nothing negative can ever happen at Disney. Their PR team is amazing.
The one thing is no one's ever died at Disney.
No one's died at Disney,
Because
ever.
if they do die, they bring them off site and then pronounce them dead.
Exactly. People will have like a heart attack in a queue or something, and then they somehow are able to declare them dead off Disney campus. And another thing I saw today too, while I was looking at fun facts, all of their American flags are actually incorrect. They're like missing a star or a stripe or something, because in that way they don't have to fly them at half-mast legally if something terrible happens.
What?
Because
I
had
no idea.
It's like basically it's this world that's not our world. Isn't that so creepy though and weird?
I don't like
It's
that.
weird, right?
That is very strange.
Welcome
I had no
to Disney.
idea.
No one ever dies here.
You live forever.
I have rights as an American. Oh, you don't.
You don't.
But River Country, and how it worked was it was recycled water, so they would pump from the lake into the water slides and stuff. Being a native Floridian, you can imagine the risk involved there. One of my biggest fears in this life is swimming in a lake that's too hot and too still because of.
Except that kid that was eaten by a gator in property. So,
Hello, my name is Soraya and I'm 28 years old. I live in the Netherlands and recently my euthanasia request for my mental suffering got approved.
Soraya Tabik, aged 28 from the Netherlands, is scheduled to die this month after being told her depression will never get better. Soraya once aspired to become a psychiatrist but couldn't finish her studies because she was struggling with depression and autism. For 10 years, she tried all possible solutions from therapy to medications to improve her condition. Soraya lost all hope for recovery after her psychiatrist told her there's nothing more they can do for her. It's never going to get any better, Soraya said her doctor told her. At that moment, Soraya decided to cut her life short, even if it meant leaving her beloved 40-year-old boyfriend and 2 cats behind. Euthanasia has been legal in the Netherlands since 2002, but remains illegal in the UK. Under Dutch law, a patient qualifies for an assisted death after they have exhausted all reasonable treatments and can prove they have unbearable suffering without prospect of improvement. She will be administered a sedative and drug to stop her heart and has chosen to die at home. Her intense struggles saw her start wearing a do not resuscitate badge around her neck. She said, "I don't see my death as my soul leaving, but more as myself being freed from life. I'm a little afraid of dying because it is the ultimate unknown." Soraya has had to wait 2.5 years for her request to be approved, and then another 6 to 12 months to ensure she met all the legal conditions for euthanasia. Once she had gone through the steps, she chose the date of her death, which falls in May. She said she doesn't want any fuss and plans to take her last breath on a sofa in her living room with no music and just her boyfriend by her side. Soraya, who doesn't have much family, said there won't be any funeral. Instead, she wishes to be cremated and scattered in a place in the woods, which she has already picked.
come to Christ, He will heal you. You know, this should not be a proof. Rather, she should be given courage and strength to live her life by her family, friend and relatives around. This is so sad. All right, folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make better content. You can also buy me coffee and support me on Patreon if you like. The links are in the description below. Thank you for watching. Peace and God bless.
Philadelphia cream cheese, we're using a 2-pack here. Each brick right here and right here, okay?
Barbecue sauce and cream cheese. Now what you making?
Okay. Creamed corn is where it's at. You're getting this.
Creamed corn? What's happening here?
This is a barbecue recipe with all the fixings.
And this ain't no barbecue recipe. This is something you made up.
Or pre-chopped. I mean, it's so helpful. Going in with some Lucerne cheese. It just absolutely covered it.
Oh, here you go. Now she adding cheese.
Perfect layer. Kingsford pulled pork right on top.
Wait, barbecue sauce, corn, cheese, cream cheese, and onions. Now she adding pulled pork. What you putting together?
This is going to go right into the oven, and it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, probably not.
This smells so good. Everybody's wanting some.
Who is everybody?
Okay, now that it's just like this, your cheese is melted, you're going to just start to stir it up.
It looked like you ain't cooked it long enough.
Look at that. Just goes right in. All right, that's perfect. All that cheese is melted in. It looks so good.
Oh, my stomach bubbling.
I'm gonna go in with a little bit of dried chive. You can use fresh, whatever you want.
Oh, just look at Meredith's mushy diarrhea dip.
It's like a barbecue in one, seriously. It's so good.
And she about to eat it. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this.
Oh.
Eating that pulled pork, you're gonna have to pull me off the toilet.